Okay, so last night I watched The Edge of Destruction, which is the third Doctor Who story, and I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. It's only two parts. It comes and leaves. It does what it needs to do, and it's perfect for that. But had a lot of issues. So the setup, particularly in the first episode, is really well done. It's the first of its kind. It's the first of these like creepy, like what are they called, like bottle episodes where it's like in one place the whole time and it's just dealing with character drama. Kind of reminded me of Midnight a lot, but it's like, yeah, everyone, it just starts off very creepy. Everyone is just acting slightly off and slightly weird, and it's like there's this dreadful presence of something is very wrong, but like no one is admitting it and no one is acknowledging it. People are like just acting very strange and snapping at each other randomly for no reason, and it's just like, I don't know. It was like super good setup. I was like genuinely creeped out. I was genuinely creeped out because it's like you see how like these characters, like you have like what 12 episodes before this or something like that of like these characters like behaving certain ways and acting certain ways, so you get a sense of their like mannerisms and behaviors and the way they speak, and when that's all taken slightly off, it like sense this it like it really, you notice it, you really like get the sense of creepiness and foreboding that's like really well done. But then like they don't stick the landing. That's the issue with this story. It doesn't stick the landing. It like peters out into this like, oh, the TARDIS is like dealing with stuff like like, and we have the whole thing is we have to solve this, like what's wrong with the TARDIS, and it's like, okay, so how did that impact everyone's weird behaviors and mannerisms and like change of speech and everything? Like, it doesn't really like connect for me in the end, and I feel like it could have been that I just missed it and wasn't like understanding what was happening. So it could have very well been my fault, but like I feel like it didn't give enough of that connective tissue to like explain the story, if that makes sense. Like, it gives like everything it needs for a conclusion, but why was it impacting the crew's behaviors? Like it really was confusing for me, and that could just very well be me, that could just very well be my viewing experience, but I think it started off as such a strong creepy story that I was like, oh, this might become one of my favorite Doctor Who stories, and we're only in like the first season ever, and like, and it just like faded out into something that wasn't like quite comprehensible and wasn't quite the resolution we needed. So I was a little disappointed in that, but overall I think that's like the acting performances in this were great. Like like everyone talks about early Doctor Who's cheesiness, but I'm like, everyone had like killer performances in this episode. But yeah, you definitely get the sense of like, especially since this isn't like, oh, we're willingly going on adventures with the Doctor yet, you definitely get this sense of like, um that everything's just kind of miserable, it's just this weight on these characters because we're kind of like, the Doctor doesn't know how to pick specific times and locations yet on the TARDIS. He's so new that like they're just bouncing around trying to get home, but they can't, and it's just like, just all of this like trauma is weighing on them. But yeah, that's the gist of it. Yeah, overall, started off pretty solid, ended pretty roughly. But I'm interested because next is, oh, one thing I wanted to talk about, that I questioned about, is they mentioned other adventures, but like every story has led directly into the next story so far. So I'm wondering if like there's supposed to be implication that like there's been other stories going on in between, but if not, then yeah, I really don't know what that meant. Maybe it was something that was like manipulating their brain with the whole situation that was going on, something like that. But I don't know. That was confusing to me. But yeah, I've hit my first missing story, so I'm interested to see like how things connect late and how things go from here. Because I think next time the story I'm jumping into skips a few stories that have been lost. So I'm interested to see where things go from here and how that comes interpretable. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks, guys, for watching.